The observation deck of the Meridian hummed with the soft vibration of the quantum drive as Oscar pressed his forehead against the reinforced glass. Beyond the transparent barrier, the planet Zephyria hung like a violet jewel against the cosmic darkness, its 3 moons casting ethereal shadows across swirling clouds of bioluminescent vapor. "I wish I could be with her," he whispered, his breath fogging the glass. "I heard you, human." Oscar's heart stopped. He spun around to find Princess Orla standing mere meters away, her crystalline skin refracting the starlight into 1,000 dancing colors. Her eyes, those impossible eyes that shifted between silver and gold, fixed upon him with an intensity that made his knees weak. "Your Highness," Oscar stammered, immediately dropping into a formal bow. "I didn't realize anyone else was here." The shift rotation said, "The shift rotation is irrelevant when one possesses the ability to phase through titanium walls." Orla tilted her head, a gesture Oscar had learned meant curiosity among her species. "Your auditory emissions suggested emotional distress. Are you malfunctioning?" Despite his racing pulse, Oscar couldn't help but smile. 3 months aboard the diplomatic vessel, and Orla still struggled with human expressions. "No, I'm not malfunctioning. Just thinking about me." It wasn't a question. Oscar's face burned. As a junior xenolinguist, he had no business entertaining thoughts about the princess of the Zephyrian Empire. Their mission was simple: facilitate the treaty that would prevent war between Earth and Zephyria. Nothing more. Certainly nothing that involved his foolish heart developing feelings for a being whose very biology operated on principles Earth's scientists barely understood. "I apologize, Your Highness. It was inappropriate. Why do humans always apologize for their neural chemistry?" Orla moved closer, and Oscar noticed she was manipulating her dermal opacity, a conscious choice her species made when expressing vulnerability. He could see the faint glow of her dual cardiovascular system pulsing beneath her skin. "On Zephyria, we acknowledge our electromagnetic attractions openly. It is considered dishonest to suppress such fundamental truths." "We're from different worlds," Oscar said softly. "Literally. The biology alone makes it impossible. Your people breathe methane-oxygen blends. Your body temperature would give me 3rd-degree burns. And even if we could overcome the physical barriers, there's the political situation. The treaty my father seeks to finalize by bonding me to Prince Vex of the Andromedean Collective," Orla interrupted, her voice carrying an edge that made the air molecules around them vibrate visibly. "Yes, I am aware of my assigned function in the grand machinery of interstellar diplomacy." Oscar had never heard such bitterness from her before. In all their language sessions, those precious hours when she'd insisted on learning English directly from him rather than through neural download, she had maintained perfect royal composure. "You don't want this marriage," he said. "Want is irrelevant. Duty supersedes individual desire." She moved to the window, standing beside him now. This close, he could feel the heat radiating from her body, could see the way light seemed to bend around her form. "But yes, Oscar Martinez of Earth, I do not want it. Prince Vex's neural pattern is incompatible with mine. Our electromagnetic fields repel rather than harmonize. The union would be politically advantageous and personally catastrophic." "Then refuse." Orla's laugh was like crystal bells shattering. "You understand so little of Zephyrian psychology. We cannot refuse our nature. I am the eldest daughter of the luminous throne. My entire existence has been engineered, genetically, psychologically, socially, to serve the Empire. To refuse would be to deny the very coding of my consciousness." Oscar turned to face her fully, abandoning all pretense of diplomatic distance. 3 months ago, you told me that humanity's greatest achievement wasn't our technology or our art. You said it was our capacity to rewrite our own programming through choice alone. You called it beautiful. Her eyes flashed golden. I remember. Then choose, Orla, not as a princess, as yourself. For a long moment, silence stretched between them, broken only by the Meridian systems humming their eternal song. Then Orla did something Oscar had never seen a Zephyrian do. She reached out and touched his hand. The sensation was extraordinary. Her skin wasn't hot as he'd expected. Instead, it felt like holding pure energy, a tingling warmth that spread up his arm and settled somewhere behind his sternum. Through her touch, he felt something else, a direct transmission of emotion, possible only through the Zephyrian contact empathy. What he felt nearly drove him to his knees. Love. Desperate, all-consuming, impossible love. And beneath it, a terror so profound it made his earlier fears seem trivial. I have been monitoring your biorhythms for 6 Earth weeks, Orla confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. Every time we are proximate, your cardiac function accelerates, your pupils dilate, your skin temperature rises precisely 0.7 degrees. I told myself I was merely conducting scientific observation of human biology. But you weren't. No, I was searching for evidence that you felt the electromagnetic pull as strongly as I did. Her hand trembled in his. Do you understand what you're asking? If I choose you, I don't just defy my father. I defy my entire species' understanding of duty and order. The treaty could collapse. War between our peoples becomes probable. Oscar knew he should step back, should remind her of their responsibilities, of the millions of lives depending on this diplomatic mission's success. But looking into her shifting eyes, seeing the desperate hope warring with ingrained duty, he couldn't do it. What if we found another way? He said. What if we could satisfy the political needs while also honoring what we feel? Impossible. The Andromedean collective demands a genetic bond, not merely political alliance. Then we give them something better. Oscar's mind raced through everything he'd learned about interstellar politics, Zephyrian culture, and the complex web of alliances holding this sector of space together. The treaty requires Zephyria to ally with a major power. Earth isn't considered major enough alone. But what if we were bonded, truly bonded, using Zephyrian neurobiology and human consciousness? We'd be the first hybrid union between our species. That's a bigger statement than any arranged marriage. Orla's entire body began to glow brighter. You would undergo the resonance procedure? Oscar, it's irreversible. Your neural pathways would be permanently altered. You would feel what I feel, think partially in my dimensional framework. You would no longer be entirely human. Would I still be me? The core of your consciousness would remain intact, but expanded. Then I wouldn't lose myself. I'd just become more. He squeezed her hand gently. Orla, I've spent my whole life studying alien languages, trying to build bridges between species. What better way than to literally become that bridge? She searched his face with those impossible eyes, and Oscar felt her consciousness brush against his own, a preview of what the resonance would create permanently. My father will resist, she warned. Then we convince him together. The procedure has a 34% fatality rate for humans. I'm willing to risk it. You might come to resent me, to regret this choice. Oscar lifted his other hand to cup her luminous face, marveling that she'd adjusted her surface temperature to allow the touch. The only thing I'd regret is never trying. Orla closed her eyes, and for a moment, every light on her body dimmed. When she opened them again, they blazed with determination. Then we shall attempt the impossible, Oscar Martinez of Earth. We shall rewrite both our programmed destinies. She pulled him closer, their foreheads touching in the Zephyrian gesture of commitment. Though I must warn you, if we succeed, you will be bound to me for the duration of your lifespan. Oscar smiled. I can think of worse fates. Through the window, Zephyria continued its eternal rotation, unaware that aboard the diplomatic vessel, two beings from impossible worlds had just chosen to create an entirely new future. The story was just beginning.